Hello, and welcome to today's Crux Supplier Spotlight. I'm Philip Brittan, the founder of Crux Informatics. Today, we are joined by Craig Stelmach of WeatherSource. Welcome, Craig. Thanks for being here. Tell us what you do.
WeatherSource is a provider of analytics-grade global weather information. We power a majority of Fortune companies, and our mission is to make hyperlocal weather and climate information data accessible across the globe and across industries. It's important to note that in the U.S. alone, weather-related damage accounts for almost $600 billion in annual lost revenue and almost 76,000 lost jobs. And our mission at WeatherSource is to work with these companies to leverage weather and climate data and develop weather strategies that ultimately will reduce waste, increase ROI, fine-tune logistics, optimize process and strategy, and improve resource planning. Our team at WeatherSource brings a wide breadth of industry knowledge with extensive meteorological and climatological expertise. And in addition, we are also data experts, and we're developing advanced, high-quality, and easy-to-use products and services that empower businesses.
So what kind of companies are particularly interested or would find your data specifically valuable?
So we are very horizontal at WeatherSource, meaning we support a wide range of industries and a wide range of use cases. Some main verticals we work with are fintech, insurance, manufacturing, retail, restaurants, logistics, property and real estate, and all of them have a common goal, which is to really quantify the impact of weather on a KPI or business process or operation, and then really create predictive or prescriptive models or other type of business intelligence that is going to mitigate the risk from a weather disruption.
Can you give us an example of maybe a use case for fintech, for example?
Yeah, so with fintech, we just actually recently worked with a large pension board who basically had a position in a large public company that sold shingles. We successfully mapped 5 years of hail activity to 200 million single-family homes, and then we quantified the impact of this hail activity, both size and frequency and severity of the hail. And what we were able to do was show when you had cumulative hail events in hail of a certain size, consumers were going out and getting their roofs repaired. Well, when these hail events were consecutive in nature, there was an increase in revenue at the store level. And when we aggregated those stores on a regional level, we were also able to show that in certain instances, as a result of high hail activity with big, large hail, 1 inch or more, there was also a noticeable uptick in the stock price.
That is absolutely fascinating. What do you think is particularly unique and exciting about what you do?
So some of the exciting things about WeatherSource is that we are marketably different than other weather providers. Many companies will tell you what is the weather going to be at the beach. But WeatherSource was really founded to tell you how many widgets are you going to sell at that beach as a result of the weather the consumers are experiencing. So in some of the main distinguishing characteristics between WeatherSource and, say, a traditional weather provider is the main one is really about co-location of relevant and actionable weather information to your location of interest. And then secondly is data quality.
So why are you working with Crux?
So we were very excited to work with Crux. And you know, I think it summed it up on Crux's websites, where customers are drowning in data from a wide variety of sources. Crux brings all of these data providers together and basically ingests this data in different formats and different frequencies and is able to put that data in a usable format. So what we were excited about with Crux is we have customers who are not able to use an API or who do not want to use a data platform such as Google Cloud or do not have the interest or technical expertise to really work and massage that data. So Crux does all the heavy lifting and essentially takes petabyte scale databases and delivers that to their customers in a seamless fashion at scale.
Terrific. This last year has certainly been a unique one for all of us. Any interesting observations or lessons learned that you've had over the course of the last 12, 14 months?
Well, the great news is that our business continues to move forward and thrive. We've obviously seen a slight slowdown in deal cadence, so closings are taking a little bit longer than expected. But the exciting thing is we've seen a lot of large companies are taking the initiative during downtime to be able to really implement weather strategies and weather solutions. So we're seeing a lot of large customers who are setting up initiatives to really start taking a look at how is weather impacting my business and how can I create business intelligence to basically mitigate against weather-related risk. We're also starting to see a significant amount of companies talking about longer-term climate models, and that's climate models, and that's also one thing we're working on actively. Really putting context behind the weather. What is the wind speed and wind direction going to be in 5 years? Are we going to have 1% hurricane years every single year? So really starting to understand what is the impact of global warming and other type of climatic events on weather data and weather information that we serve to our customers. And I will also say last year was interesting with COVID, and WeatherSource actually participated in a really interesting study around COVID. One thing that researchers primarily out of University of Maryland and Star Schema and Johns Hopkins recognized was that the sweet spot for higher transmission rates of COVID were between 32 degrees and 50 degrees Fahrenheit and under 60% humidity. So WeatherSource actually opened up our data on a global scale to any academia or researchers who are working on predictive models for COVID to basically predict where you're going to have outbreaks based on weather. So we were really excited to be part of that initiative, and companies like S&P and Google and Johns Hopkins and Snowflake and a lot of other companies pulled in our data and performed some really meaningful analysis and generated some very interesting content. So even in a down year with COVID, weather still played a role, and we were happy to be part of that analysis in that research.
That is fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Craig, for joining us. And thanks to all of you for listening in. If you have any questions at all about WeatherSource or about Crux, please just send an email to data@cruxinformatics.com. Thanks very much. Take care.
Thanks, Philip.